So I'm born and raised in Winnipeg, right? Winnipeg Jets.
Oh my God. Who was your first classmate? Moose?
No, actually, believe it or not, Winnipeg does have a lot more people than you think. I think the population is hovering a little under a million.
I just still teasing the Winnipeg guys.
I know, I know. I remember hearing about your comments about Winnipeg when you were playing in Arizona or with Phoenix, and they were talking about moving to Winnipeg. But a lot of people got upset with that. I went and I broke down some of your comments in my notes of the show today, and instead of grilling you, I want to try to convince you that Winnipeg is great. What do you think?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, so this was your comment. So your comment was not many people live there. There's no Russians in Winnipeg. It's really cold, and there's not a lot to get excited about outside of hockey. There's no parks or entertainments for families or for the kids. It's going to be a tough life there. I've been there a few times before, and it's always really cold, minus 40. Now, this is what I think you missed out on. So as far as entertainment goes, there's an area called the Forks. It's the Forks meeting of the rivers, and it kind of looks like a fork if you look from like a helicopter, like all the rivers come to meet. And it's a really cool area with a lot of like old school architecture, cool market for food. Like we have some really, really good markets in Winnipeg, like great. There's like a fish and chip shop down there. There's just really, really a lot of good stuff down there. And then also
chips. I hate fish and chips. Especially last year we went to the Edinburgh, like and it's like a classic, British food, fish and chips. And it smells from everywhere, and also the problem not changing the oil. It smells disgusting. It's gross.
Yeah, when they let the oil go for too long and it's going black and it's like smoking.
You're like, oh, it's food. Oh my God! Don't talk with me about fish and chips, huh?
Well, let's try to find something else that you might like. So there's this one market called the St. Leon Market, and they have these really, really good oatmeal and date cookies. Now, it's an oatmeal cookie with like dates spread in between. It's incredible. I think you would personally love it. What do you think?
I love dates. Like I'm trying to eat every day.
Okay, perfect. So then maybe you'll love some oatmeal date cookies. As far as rich history goes, this was another selling point. Now, Winnipeg may not be the greatest today, but in the early 1900s, it was called the Gateway to the West because everything coming east, train-wise and railway-wise, went through Winnipeg. Like if you wanted to go west in Canada, you had to go through Winnipeg. So the whole city was built around the railway system, and like the tracks and whatnot. So as a result, there's some really, really cool architecture with the train stations and just the downtown core and how everything is put together. Some really sexy buildings, some sexy hotels. Really kind of cool. I know maybe you don't want to go sightseeing in minus 40, but it is a little easier on the eyes than looking at a pile of dirt, which...
Travis, I'm pretty sure I know that is in Canada is the great nature, like great nature parks, like it's everything. But you have to understand my point of view. When you get there, like in the January, and play the game, downtown not the greatest one. There is not much to do. And to get to the arena, you have to go through the tunnels, because you can't go outside. Goddamn cold. Huh? That's what we saw. And that time, I was playing in Phoenix. When I walk outside, green grass, clear sky, great weather during the winter, And when telling you like, oh guys, when you like to go to Winnipeg, you're like, what? Seriously?
The tunnels that you're just talking about, if you're listening to the podcast, you know what Ilya is talking about. So in downtown Winnipeg, it's called the Winnipeg Square. And the Winnipeg Square is basically an underground tunnelway that goes all the way from Portage in Maine, and it makes it all the way down almost to Broadway-ish. And it goes between underground and then a little bit above ground and back underground. It's really cool, and it's a great way in the winter, like Ilya mentioned, in January and February. And when it's minus 40, minus 30, you don't have to go outside. You just walk through tunnels. You never have to leave the hotel or the arena, and you stay nice and warm. But I will agree with you. There's a reason I live in Vancouver, and it's trying to avoid the minus 40 and 30 of December through April and May. And a lot of snow. Mm-hmm. It gets really cold. And like you mentioned, too, with Phoenix, when you're coming out after morning skate, you're coming out in flip-flops and shorts and a tank top. Like it's hard to beat when somebody tells you, or Berkey tells you, hey, we're going to trade you to Winnipeg. Get your winter parka and your jacket and your ski pants.
And and living there in Phoenix, Arizona, you only have one jacket for the travel. You know, like I don't have anything yet. I need to go buy.
And it's probably like a track suit, not an actual like winter parka, right?
And put some duck fat on your cheeks, you know, make sure it's not gonna skin not gonna crack, you know.
That's another thing I noticed too, going anywhere outside of Winnipeg. Like in Vancouver, the climate's very moist, right? Like I moisturize in the morning a little bit before bed, but I don't really need to because my skin's very hydrated around here. Like when I go to Winnipeg and I'm stepping out of the airport or if I'm getting off the train, it's like right away you feel the dry air and it's just like my skin is just like begging for some moisture. It's so just densely dry. It's crazy. And yeah, you would definitely need some duck fat during those cold winter months. There's no doubt about it.
No. I'm agree with you, you know, but still, it's the best city in the world.
So what you're telling me is you're not going to be moving to Winnipeg anytime soon. I haven't convinced you.
Hey, if they give me a job, why not?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
Pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.